All right, so this is a painting of my kids and me waiting on the platform of the train in New York City, and I'm going to finish it up and add a little bit of oil. I've tried to videotape these paintings in the early stages, and it's really hard, so I'm going to probably not do that anymore because I don't know how you videotape and concentrate on an early stage painting because you got to get way into it. When it's almost done like this one is, you can kind of talk a little bit into the camera and have a little bit of fun, but when it's early stage painting, you can't. Having said that, I'm gonna finish some of this painting. It's not done and it's been bothering me lately. Um, it's really hard to talk during a painting. Go ahead and try it, folks. You kind of got to know what you're doing. Some of these lines here are like it's too blurry. So I want to tighten up these lines. And I think I like to just do it with a dark color. So and it doesn't have to perfectly match either. It just has to tighten it up. And if you've ever been on acid or something, you can make the lines sort of colorful around it. It doesn't have to make sense. This is a little bit of like a green color. I want to just put it here, where and tighten it up. Especially there. There, I can just put brown. I don't know what's going on with this. Yeah, that's fine. So, I've been painting my family portraits for about 6 months now. Different photos of us in different situations on the train. Maybe on a vacation. And a guy that collects paintings from me, I ran into him on the street. He's probably bought about 4 paintings for me. He said, "What are you working on now?" And I said to him, "I'm working on family portraits. I'm working on family oil paintings, and they're pretty big." And he said, "Why are you doing that? Nobody's gonna buy a painting of your family." And I was like, "That's the point, dude. Like, it's not about if they're gonna buy a painting of my family. That's not what the art is about. It's not about what they're gonna buy." And that's unfortunate because I like to sell stuff. I think it's gonna be a good series. I think it's important to express what's valuable to you, to the artist. For me, it's important to express what I value, which is my family. And unfortunately, in public life and stuff, the family values aren't that important. It certainly doesn't get clicks online, and some parts of the social landscape are trying to belittle the family, make it as if it isn't important. It's certainly hard to have a family with the prices as they are, and there isn't much that incentivizes having a family. That's for sure. It's almost you're incentivized not to have a family. So it's actually a radical concept to sort of just go with that, you know, go with that old traditional concept of family, especially if you're like an artist type, a creative, liberal leaning, as in the, you know, liberal meaning you want people to have their freedoms and you want to be progressive as far as the civilization must evolve socially, and part of that concept is not have a family. I don't know. I'm sort of also confused politically about that. I mean, we don't have to get in there now, but if you can see there's just a little bit of like an acid thing going on. Like this is totally like the colors get all they can get all acid like. I used to do some of that in college. And it actually I don't do any drugs at all now, but I'm glad that I did some in college because you can get an acid effect on these paintings, which is really cool to me. And I'm going with the green for now because I can. I mean, I can just keep going with this green. Well, what was I talking about before? Family values and stuff. I'm into it, man. And so the guy that I ran into, who's actually a good friend of mine, he's really cool and commissions a lot of work. And he's still cool. But he was confused as to why I would put so much energy into paintings of my family when it's not immediately clear who would be interested in something like this. And he's right. But at the same time, you gotta paint what you're into, and that's part of being a painter. You gotta paint what you're into. Ooh, that's cool. Not sure what's up with that. But I like that. Damn. Okay, so let's go with. So I got some red here that kind of. And I gotta get into these cracks. I don't like how these cracks are like. Can you see that? They're too unified in color. And I can get into here. So now we're getting into the acid part. When you're first starting out doing a painting, you gotta be kind of concentrated on it. I don't know how you can just start yapping while you're doing an initial stage of a painting. I don't get that. I'm not into it. I don't think you can do it. I don't know, man. Maybe there isn't anything to say. Maybe there's nothing to say. Maybe there's nothing to say. I do want to get this painting tight. You know what? There's probably nothing to say. Probably nothing to say. I get it. Nothing to say. I know. Got some orange here. This is kind of what I wanted. Gotta tighten it up, dude. Yeah, it doesn't have to make sense. The colors don't have to make sense. Talking into the camera could totally be an embarrassment, which I think you have to just deal with that. I mean, sometimes my mom watches these and when she calls me, I can tell she's a little bit embarrassed by it. But you know, it's like watching my kid do something and they're trying to like make it happen. It's weird. It's like you don't want to watch it. You get like kind of embarrassed for what somebody's doing. I mean, I'm trying to make something happen, obviously. Like I want to talk about something interesting, but I mean, what's interesting? Politics, people getting assassinated, wars going on in countries 11 hours away by plane. Like, I mean, People just make things up that are interesting. Like this stuff has most things that people are interested. It has nothing to do with them. You know what I'm interested in? Inflation. I'm interested in inflation because it affects every time I walk out the door. I have a lot less money. That's interesting to me. It's not interesting what like people are trying to, get clicks for online. You know how it works. Let's say you're trying to make something happen. Like, let's say me, I'm trying to make something happen. And I'm slogging away. And then I say something online about, I say something edgy online. I don't even know what that would be. I'm not even going to make something up. And then I get a bunch of clicks. I get so many clicks that I start making money. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start saying that stuff over and over and over again. And I'm going to see how much money I can make from that stupid thing that I said. And that's what people are doing online. They're not making money with their painting videos, that's for sure. Though most of what you see online is just like a guy trying to get clicks, dude. Just you're feeding into some guy trying to get clicks, and that's like everybody's just trying to make something happen. I'm trying to make this hand happen. I'm trying to get some commissions happening. That's good. I like that. I don't know if you can see that, but I got a little bit more going on over there. I don't know, so it's kind of like embarrassing talking into the camera and painting and, you want people to like register your work with like, you want it to register with people. It usually doesn't. People are busy and what am I, maybe I'll get 10 views. What are we expecting to get here? Embarrass my mother a little bit with these videos. Should I talk about politics? No. I just want to talk about this painting. I've been painting for 25 years. I've sold hundreds of paintings as in a commission form. Not as many paintings like this where I'm just painting it. It's called art for art's sake. You don't sell as many paintings for art's sake. I like when I like when it has different colors. This you can just play with, put some lines in there and stuff. It has to make sense a little bit, but not much. It doesn't have to make much sense. So these legs over here, see how they're like not very defined on the outside? See how they're not very defined? So I want to add some definition. That just means, to me, it just means adding lines under there. Let me move that a little bit. Okay, so check this out. Or don't check it out. You know what? Don't check this out. Don't check this out. Okay? Kind of want to add, of course I don't have it here, but it's around here somewhere. It's not that important. It is a little bit important. It's this color here. I love it. Man, you can do some major damage with this color, dude. I put it there. I think I want it, and then I just, yeah, like that, dude. Damn. Yeah. Do I need that? Probably not, dude. At this stage in the painting, even if you screw it up, you can't screw it up because it's so done. It's pretty much done. I want it to just pop a little more, and you can just do that with these colors. They don't even have to make sense. To me, it doesn't have to make sense. Maybe to you want it to make sense. I don't care anymore if it makes sense. And I'm I'm only going to let my camera run for about 2 more minutes anyway. What have I talked about? Nothing. Nothing. I've just embarrassed some people that I know probably. So I'm going to put this. I want to define. Yeah. You can just make, and you can make the colors. You can mix them up. Mix them up. I mean, you can just put them. You can just blend them together. You don't even need to. See, now it's like kind of purplish. You see that? Okay. Oh, so my main point was my radical idea is to paint my portraits of my family. I think that's like super radical. Bye.